Hi, everybody. Matt here from Matt Likes Comics. Today is my response to Allan's comic challenge, Friday comic challenge for this week. And these are, of course, war covers. And we picked war covers this period because this is just before Veterans Day in the United States and Remembrance Day in the British Commonwealth. Now, Veterans Day, of course, is a day where Americans honor their servicemen. They have Memorial Day in May to honor the fallen. In Canada and the Commonwealth, Remembrance Day covers both. We only have the one day that covers all of our veterans, and that's when we say thank you and we want to remember everybody. November 11th, of course, being the day that World War I stopped, that the armistice kicked in. So, Allan, as I said, we set the top 10 challenge this week is top 10 war covers. It's sort of a tribute per se, because it's definitely not a celebration. You don't celebrate war. But so I've pulled out a few that I'd like to show, and as usual, mine might be slightly different than the rest, but we'll see. Right here, I picked this one because this shows an example of older siege warfare. This is Warlord 75, where you've got Travis Morgan jumping down and, into the arrows and spears that are being sent up. This is an old-fashioned siege from the Middle Ages type of fight, and it's a topic, a period of war that doesn't get covered as much as the more recent stuff. So I thought I'd throw this in, and that's where I said it may be a little different. Next up, we have John Sable Freelance number 32, which shows a special forces team being put together. One guy's really hooked on battle. Fighting cost him an arm and a leg. Okay, stop with the bad jokes, Matt. Dark jokes are not necessary here. Great book. I read that one. Really good book. Next up is a couple of DCs. This is Sergeant Rock 334. I like this because it shows the human part of war, where you go and you get your buddies. No man is left behind. I really think that's really cool. And out of all my Sergeant Rock books, I picked this one for that reason. Next up, Star Spangled War Stories number 148. This was before Unknown Soldier took over the book completely, and its enemy Ace is the lead. Another story about the human side of war. He falls in love with this puppy. Now I have a couple of Charlton books because I like to mix it up a bit. This one is called Attack Number 7, and it's got some cool tanks on the cover. One's being exploded into bits. The other one is going in through the smoke and going through and doing its damage. Attack Number 7. And here we've got Fighting Army number 137, which again can show the costs of war. The kid doesn't know it. The German kid doesn't know that the American guy's his father, and he shoots him. And this just shows the absolute hate that can be shown sometimes. Certainly propaganda has a big part of it. A lot of nationalism is us versus them, and it has its place. I love nationalism when it comes to the Olympics. I even love it when it comes to trade, per se, except for, present things. I think North America should be North America against the world. But anyway, I'm not getting political here. I'm just saying we're better off together than apart. Our Fighting Forces 151, The Losers. Really cool one where the Nazis are hiding in wait for the losers to go across. Really good book. A lot of this stuff is Joe Kubert from DC, and it's awesome. I'm going to end with two DC books, but first, this is one that, kids out there are like. This is G.I. Joe 318, the real American hero 318. I'm pulled this well because I like this cover, and it's an example of G.I. Joe. It's more fantasy war, but it's still war. I consider it still war, and so does the comic book Overstreet War people. They believe G.I. Joe is a war book, so therefore I throw it in. This, of course, is the continuation of the Marvel slash Image series that they had that started in the 1980s and moved up. It's a very cool cover. I like it. And Larry Hama is still writing it. So the last two are Joe Kubert covers with, DC. This is GI Combat 263 with some great floating heads, which of course is on top of a, war scene in the back. And in this one, they're fighting monsters. And then you've got the haunted tank at the bottom. Another well-known title. And the last one I'm going to show, this was given to me as an A-OK. I really like this book. It stars Enemy Ace as the backup, who's been one of my favorite war characters. He's so tragic. I just love that idea. But this is the first appearance of a character by the name of Gravedigger, and this is Men of War 1. This one, more than other war titles, this didn't last very long compared to the other ones, but it had some very seriously good stories that also looked into the background of the armed forces and the politics at the time. And I really liked this particular character. I bought his collection, so I've read most of the stories that the Gravedigger has appeared in. Good stuff. I really appreciated it very much. Forgive me for my ranting. No, not rantings, but my pontificating in this one. War brings out a different opinion on everybody. One of the biggest things with regards to people is, are they a pacifist or are they a monger or somewhere in between? What's your line? Where do you say go? Personally, I think that every other thing needs to be taken care of before the loss of life and all that stuff. But that's the Catholic in me. Um, but war stories are awesome. A large amount of history is written by wars and has been shaped by wars. Sorry, and as a result, they're really cool stories to read about. It's sad to see people have to lose their lives, but wars have shaped society into what we are. We have fought, Canadians and Americans have both fought for their own country, their own defense, and of course for the defense of the world. And I thank everybody who's ever served. I really believe it takes a special kind of person to do that. I had hoped to be one of those people at one point in my life. Unfortunately, the dice didn't roll that way. Thank you very much for joining me today. If you liked what you saw and you want to be into the challenge, just type in the Friday Comic Challenge and tag Allan, tag me. I like to see what you come up with. There are thousands of war books from various companies, and you got them all from the Second World War up through Vietnam, through the Gulf War, through even today's Afghanistan conflicts. I've seen stories that involve that. So, and of course the G.I. Joe, where they are in a fictionalized world and they have their own stuff. I like it. I like them very much. Not my favorite genre, but one I will read very happy. Thank you very much for joining me today. My name is Matt, and I like comics, and I hope you do too. Bye, everybody.